All right, I had someone reach out and ask if I could explain kind of why I set my pedals up the way that I do. And I'd also thought I'd just kind of like show you some updates that I've made to it. I got a manufactured board because I wanted to add the Electro-Harmonix Wailer Wah here over on the far left. Rather than kind of like show you how I set it up because it took a lot of time, I thought I could just talk a little bit more about like why everything's organized the way that it is. So the signal chain here goes, you know, tuner into distortion, into chorus, into delay number 1, into delay number 2, into reverb, and then into my wah, and that's, you know, the TU3 Boss, and down here we got the Proco Rat 2. This is the chorus ensemble CE5 by Boss, and then we got the TC Electronic Flashback. That's a Mooer R-7 reverb, and then that's a Boss DD7. That's a digital delay pedal. And so in terms of why I set this up the way that I did, you know, tuner goes first because you don't want any sort of like, you know, dirty or wet sounding tone going into your tuner. It's going to make it harder to get the notes that you need in order to know that you're in tune. So obviously tuner goes first. From there, you know, I personally like to go into drive or distortion. I think some people might prefer to do chorus upstream of that. It's just a matter of taste. Sounds slightly different, you know, try it both ways and see how you like it. From there, you know, you can move over into what I guess I would call like the noise section of the pedal board. You know, these are more kind of like textural. These kind of like add ambiance and noise. My TC Electronic Flashback, I have that set up kind of, you know, low, slow delay that adds kind of like a spaciness to things. Pairs really well with the R7 when I'm trying to get a little bit more ambient. And then, you know, on top of that, I typically stack my digital delay as kind of something that just generates noise through self-oscillation. I don't usually leave it set so that it does anything other than kind of like wail really loud whenever you immediately step on it, for example. And that just gives me something to make some noise with. The whole justification for having the Wailer Wah down here is just that it's like bigger, you know, and it takes up a lot of space on the board, and I thought it would kind of be nice over here on the far left. There's probably, you know, some reason why you might want to put it elsewhere, but I only have it turned on at the same time that I have my distortion turned on, and I kind of like it being downstream of distortion, so that's why it's set up the way that it is. You could probably set it up another way if you wanted to. I'm not really trying to, you know, tell you that this should be the way that you do it. I think if you were going to be using these pedals in conjunction with this pedal, you probably want these to be below this. But for my purposes, this is totally fine. I guess I can give you another little demo. I did one of these the other day too, but you know, here's how it sounds. I got my Telecaster plugged in. One thing that I'll mention too right now is that, you know, you can leave this cocked if you want. You don't have to necessarily be stepping on it all the time, and it gives you a nice filtered sound. I use that occasionally. If you want that kind of like old-timey, distant feel. I think that sounded pretty good.